In this video, I'm going to be talking about rocks beneath the surface. In the Lighthouse program, we use this term to describe past experiences, usually traumatic, that had an impact on us as children, or indeed on our children's lives when they were little, and continue to have an impact to this day, sometimes in unseen ways. Life is full of adversity, and we are not talking about experiences, however difficult, that have proved to be digestible by the child with the support of his caregivers or someone close to him or her. So, for instance, the early death or loss of a parent, whether that happens suddenly or progressively over time, a child may be supported to bear the loss, supported to grieve, and to come to an understanding of this experience. In some ways, this can enrich a child's capacity to empathically connect with other people who are experiencing loss, for instance. So it doesn't sit as a rock beneath the surface that's likely to sink their boat, as it were. However, contrast that with the sudden death of a parent in a child's life who's not permitted to grieve, who's not allowed to talk about or mention the parent's name again, say. Then this unmourned loss will sit, we believe, beneath the surface, like a rock that will, in time, scrape against, at very least, if not sink their boat at some point. A trauma can loosely be defined as an overwhelming experience that we struggle to make sense of or digest emotionally. Some experiences are terrifying and overwhelm us at a time. Our minds cannot process them or make sense of them unless someone can support us to do this at the time or sometime after. There are also traumas that can happen that may not be digestible at all. Things that just should not have happened to you or to anyone else. And learning to live with these may be all that we can do. So again, we would say that when a child has suffered through trauma, neglect, or early loss that has not been processed, these experiences sit within his or her internal world like rocks beneath the surface. These dangerous rocks remain alien within his world because they've not been mapped out, not been made sense of. And as such, there is always the possibility that they could scrape against the bottom of the boat unexpectedly or temporarily block progress through the water. When this child, as a child or as an adult and as a parent, encounters obstacles in the external world that echo these rocks, then these rocks themselves become closer to the surface. We've talked about how rafts need to be built when we are living in circumstances that demand adaptation, where we're not feeling ourselves to be in a safe harbour, where our needs are not being met. There's a wonderful poem by a British poet born to Somali parents called Worcestershire. The poem is called Home. And the first line goes, "No one leaves home unless home is the mouth of a shark." I'll say it again. No one leaves home unless home is the mouth of a shark. When I read this first line of this poem, I imagine the beautiful lighthouse harbour turning into the jaws of a shark. In order to survive, one may have to get on a raft at that point. One might dissociate, disconnect from what's happening. Experiences that are overwhelming, terrifying, unless we can be helped to make sense of them, they will exist as rocks beneath the surface. So we think this module is important in a number of ways. One is to underline the importance of you being able to map your past experiences, recognizing those that have been difficult to process, those you have not been supported to make sense of, recognizing when they have become a locked room in the mind, which we've talked about before, or might sit beneath the surface like a rock that will scupper your boat. Another way it's important is to stress again how your children need you to continually help them make sense of their experiences. And the place to start, always, is with trying to understand your child using your illuminating beam, approaching with curiosity, interest, really wanting to know. That is the most important thing you can do for your child. Holding your child in mind is one of the most important experiences he or she will ever have.